Okay, I'm putting headers on these trucks. This is for 2014 through 2018 Silverado and Sierras. I have a two-wheel drive, so on the four-wheel drive you put, I believe, the driver's side header in from the top and slide it down. And I think the guy said you can do the passenger from the bottom. On the two-wheel drive, do both of them from the bottom. They go right up in the hole, no problem. This is a 3-inch clamp here at the header to Y pipe. In the box of the speed engineering kit, you have a short little pipe that comes across over here. That's a 3-inch, and that's 3-inch too on that header. You use a 3.5-inch clamp here, and then you use the stock weird round clamp that comes on your stock exhaust to go from this Y pipe adapter to your exhaust. I call this an adapter because it comes with two different pipes in the kit. One of them is a 3.5-inch pipe, and one of them is, I believe, a 2 3/4 inch. And you clamp it on here, and it goes to your 5.3 exhaust if it's 2 3/4, or you use the 3.5-inch if you're using the 6.2 exhaust. I bought a used 6.2 exhaust. It did not come with a clamp, so I just welded this and left the clamp there. I put these wide band clamps from O'Reilly's on there. They seal a lot better than the speed engineering clamps, but not very well because of the slip fit connections. So I wrapped foil around. I took aluminum foil, and it's, I don't know, however wide it is, it's 16 inches wide or so, pretty wide, and I folded the foil over into a strip that was about as wide as the clamp, and made the foil strip about long enough to go around the pipe 2 to 3 times. And then you smash the foil down with these clamps, and it provides pretty good seal. This one leaks a little bit. I might be able to do it a little better or redo it, but I have pretty much no leaks up here at these 3-inch clamps with foil. Before the foil, it did leak, and you could hear it. It leaks a lot less with these wide band clamps than it does with the speed engineering clamps that come with the exhaust kit or the header kit. And for me, I just welded this. I wanted to weld them all so there was no leaks, but I want to be able to take this stuff apart if I ever want to take the headers off for any reason. I think that's about it underneath the truck. The easiest way to get to the header bolts and all that stuff is to pull the wheels off and the fender liners out. On taking the stock Y pipe out and getting this one in and everything, you need to take the transmission cross member out. There's a nut in here that's a 15mm. You have this little rubber hose that needs to come off, and you have these bolts with a 21mm head and a nut with a 21mm head. You can take your you can cut your stock pipe with a Sawzall here, or you can unbolt the flanges that are up there, but me and some other guys have had a lot of problems with the nuts coming off of the flange on the stock pipe that goes up to the stock manifold. They like to strip out, or the stud strip, so you may need to cut that pipe with the Y pipe and drop all that out through here. And even with the stock Y pipe, you have to have this cross member out to get it out, so you'll need to support the transmission with a piece of wood and a jack. I don't think you need to take this off. I did. If you take this panel off, there's one 15mm bolt head there, and there, one here, and one here, one up there, and one up there. Do not need to take the 10mm bolt heads out. There's 4 of them. You leave those, just the 15mm. And then on the fender liners, there's a whole bunch of little bolts in there that are Torx. That's a T15. No, I guess it's not marked. That's a T15 Torx. And then on the front, you have a couple little bolts, or one on each side. That's a 7mm. and a 9/32 also works there. So pull your fender liners out, and then you have a ton of access to your spark plugs, your wires, and the exhaust manifold bolts or header bolts. One thing that helped a lot was I took 2 bolts, and these are 8 by 125 thread. So if you go to the auto parts store and buy a box of bolts, you need 8 by 125 millimeter thread. I believe these were 30 millimeters long, and I cut the heads off the bolt and slotted them so I can put a flathead screwdriver in there. When you get your manifolds off, and it's just bare heads, if you'll thread one of these in each end of the head, I have 2 of them, thread one in each end of the head lightly. You can hang the gasket on this and then hang the header, and then thread in all your bolts instead of trying to hold the header and hold the gasket and thread your bolts at the same time. So thread one of these in at each end, thread all your bolts in, and then take these out and put bolts in. And these might be hard to get out once you have everything hanging on them, so that's why I put the slot in there to turn them out with the Phillips head. It just makes the hanging the header and the gasket a whole lot easier. There's pretty much nothing else to it, no real tricks, except for when you snug these clamps down, you want to make sure you have the Y pipe at the angle you need it. Make sure it's not touching the cross member right here. Push it up and then tighten your clamps, or put your jack underneath the pipe back there to hold this up where you need it. And then make sure you angle all this to where it's not hitting against the body of the truck. That's about it.